Bubble boy.
Yeah.
Bubble boy. It's incorrect. Has to take steroids.
If there's one set of fans I would not with, it's the Bills.
Children, please, you got a whole life.
Yeah.
Let's buckle up here.
All I want for Christmas is for LeBron James and Serena Williams to have a baby.
Yo.
For science.
She must have been on suicide watch when she saw Gronk dent that. We're all going to die.
Smash that like button or I'm going to get kicked out of the house. I can't pay rent.
Welcome back to Sports on Tap.
Jesus.
I'm your host, James Liddy, with my co-host, Kyle Johnson.
Talk about a cold open.
It's just going to be us today. Ryan's at the RMV, which we were lying, but he got stuck there.
Oh, yeah. Listen, he planned to be here, but you know how it is. It's the DMV. See you in a week.
Did I say
RMV, DMV? What's the difference?
I don't know. Oh, speaking of
this
Ryan.
is
But
Ryan.
anyway,
There's a chance. Hold on.
he's
He
not
could
going to
say
make
his
it.
own.
If he
Let's
makes
see.
it mid-recording.
This is the text.
What did Ryan say?
Oh, he's at the counter.
No, he's not going to make it.
Sorry, Ryan.
So here at Sports on Tap, we do absolutely love sports. We do. But
Don't fucking lie. No, we don't.
today we're gonna go over things we hate about sports, our pet peeves, things we can't stand in any or all the leagues or whatever in general. Kyle, take it away. What is your first thing you hate about sports?
Do you know? I'm gonna elaborate a little bit. Do you know the Muffin Man? No. You see, we have rules and we have laws in place, and we write them down because we need them to be strict and on paper, and like this is what needs to be followed.
So like if somebody breaks it, you can go say.
If somebody breaks it, say
Right
here is
here.
the rules. We wrote them down. Right here clearly said no stealing, and guess what? That's my car. So, okay, makes sense. You know what I can't fucking stand? Unwritten rules in baseball. Not only is baseball just baseball right now, like in the sense that they're just a dying sport that refuses to change.
Yep.
They have things like, remember last year, and this was like the worst example of it I think I've ever seen. With, I think it was Tatis Jr. They were beating the brakes off of some team, and it was a 3-1 count or 3-0 count or something.
Yep.
And pitcher throws him a meatball right over the middle, bases loaded, he hits a grand slam. And they want to throw a temper tantrum about that. The coaches like go at each other, like just goes at the play, just straight up, like just pissed off after the game. I'm like, bro, he didn't break any rules. Pitch better. It's 3-0. You're getting smoked. That's the best as a batter. That's the best pitch you're going to get on a 3-0 or a 3-1 count.
Yeah.
That's like your best. I'm swinging all day. You kidding me?
Especially in baseball, I understand it a little more when it's a tie.
It's not timed. Yeah.
If it's timed, I get it because it's like, okay, if you have the ball and you're up by 40, you don't need to. It's over. Like they can't come back. In baseball, you can be down by 100 and technically come back in the bottom of the ninth.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen, but technically there is still that
I
percentage
actually wonder what the biggest comeback
in
of all
MLB
time.
history is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I'd have to look that up.
But that would be interesting because it's like, it was also what happened in the Women's World Cup where the American team ended up winning by they literally put 10-0. And a lot of people were like, well, that's just unsportsmanlike. We're in the group setting, or the first round, it's the group there. If it comes down to a tie, like if you're both 2-1, it comes down to who has the better point differential.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, then get as many goals as you can.
Yeah.
So
that's
why?
I literally I hate that fucking argument. It's like, dude, if you can't stop it, play better or learn how to.
Yep.
If you sorry, they're better than you. Move on.
If it's timed, I think it's a little different because if it's a regular season game, like in football, if it's
Yeah,
you're up
timed,
by
if you
7,
can-
you can take some knees.
You can
end the
take a
game.
knee, play it right.
No
that's
point.
that's
There's no
different.
point. I get that.
That's totally different. Your time that's part of the game is clock management.
But in baseball,
Yes. That was I hated the whiny fucking Karens that were all just like, you're not supposed to swing on a 3-0 count when you're up by 6 fucking runs. It's like, dude, pitch better. You just threw him 3 straight balls in the dirt. Of course he's gonna swing at the first fucking meatball you give him.
Tatis's manager was even saying, yeah, you shouldn't have swung.
Oh, dude,
I would
I would have fired him immediately.
I would have fired him and said,
I'd be like, bro, get
do
the
you
fuck
want to
outta
win?
here.
Do
Yeah.
you want to win?
This is the future of baseball.
Are
you're
you-
really gonna?
Are you an idiot?
Yeah, you're really gonna just publicly shame your own fucking player? You don't want him aggressive in that situation? I do. 10 out of 10 times. You know why they're not written down? These fucking stupid unwritten rules of baseball. It's because they're stupid if you wrote them down. If you had to actually enforce those rules. Now, I think Rob Manfred would do it because he's a dumbass.
Don't swing.
You're not allowed to swing. You got to let the pitcher catch up.
Rob, no. Hear me out. Hear me out.
Eat shit.
But this kind of goes into my first thing I hate about sports. So everybody always criticizes athletes day in and day out. That is a part of the job. That's what you sign up for, especially when you're getting paid big bucks. It's like, you know what? Okay, that is part of the job that comes to it. But you know who gets protected all the time? Refs. If an athlete says one thing about refs, if athletes say one thing about refs, and I get it sometimes, it's like, you know, it was a close call. It could have gone either way. But there are some times refs just suck, and they have bad games. And it happens. But if a player says anything about the ref, oh, they get like a $20,000 fine. And I know it's just a drop in the bucket to them, but it's more the...
But not all of them.
But it's the principle of it, where it's just like, these guys who get ridiculed day in and day out, or praised, but they are being judged every single game, and there is media coverage day to day on them, and they can't say a single bad thing about referees.
And it sucks too.
What?
It sucks too when you get especially, like there's times where you look at the refs, like the perfect example of that is actually I'm going back to baseball, is I forget that fucking pitcher's name. This was a couple years ago. It was a guy who played for Detroit. He had a perfect game.
Yep.
Bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, ground ball. I think it's to the first baseman. He comes over and covers, throws it to him, steps on the bag. It's a whole foot.
Clearly out.
Clearly a foot. He's out. Umpire calls him safe. And there's no replay at that time. There's no review. There's nothing they can do about it.
You can see, though, that guy feels awful.
Oh, he bought him like a car and shit.
He felt so bad. You see instantly he goes...
Because there's only been 27... There's been either 27 or 28 perfect games in the history of baseball.
Yeah.
And that guy, that one call right there blew it. That should have been the 29th.
I will say that is one of the few times, though, where... Well, an ump is like, I was wrong. I made a mistake. Where in other sports, it's just like they don't talk to the refs. They don't even go about it. The refs kind of get to go do their own thing.
Excuse me. That was like borderline agree. That was one of the most egregious, like, and I'm sure the pressure probably got to him, and like he didn't want to make the right call. But in that situation, I've seen umpires go and overturn calls. I saw it happen without replay. They did it. There was a Red Sox game in the World Series. It was a double play, and they all came together. It was a slide on second. He caught it, and then on the way to, because he was trying to turn a double play. I think it was Bogarts. Catches it, goes to like throw it to first, and as he does the transfer, it falls out. And the guy called him safe because it was like it said he didn't catch it, but it was clearly like on the transfer, and they all came together. They changed the call. So it's like that's one of those situations where it's like I don't know why you wouldn't.
Exactly. That's the thing I don't get. Why there's sometimes they can do it, and then there's other times they can't. Go to football, NFC Championship games, Rams, Saints, clearly pass interference. Like he got bodied while the football was 5 yards away.
Yeah.
But they can't even come out and say anything after the fact because it's like you'll get fined. But it's like this dude.
Yeah.
He dropped the ball. This guy fumbled the bag. He did it.
And it's his fault. And
he basically cost them a trip to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. And
what?
You can't say anything about it?
You're not allowed to talk about it. These guys get... It's these egregious ones. There's some times that it's just like
you can't even talk about it like after the fact.
Nope.
Too. Like if they were to go out and like... If Sean Payton were to go out and say something... I mean, he retired, right?
Yeah.
I was going to say... Never mind that.
Nowadays, he's fine. But like... And I've seen players just kind of call out refs and be like, yeah, no, they called a shitty game today.
Yeah.
And there are some times where it's just the players, with the emotions. And it happens where it's like, okay, no, it was a close call. I understand how you could call it either way.
No.
But sometimes, but the fact that these athletes aren't allowed to say anything.
I mean, I guess refs are making way less money in the grand scheme of things, but not that should matter. I just don't like, I don't know. There's so many, I agree with you. I like that take.
This is one of the few times I actually really feel for athletes because like a lot of times it's like you get paid millions to do this job, deal with it, but it's like you get ridiculed day in and day out and you're not allowed to share your opinion.
Yeah.
Come on. Let's give a little, take a little.
On the other side of that coin, going from refs to players, something I can't stand, or at least that's like forming nowadays. I don't like how before I think this might be Tom Brady's fault in a sense, and like LeBron James, and I think just all these players who are really playing super well into their old age, we don't let players as like a fan base, we don't give them room to like age. So like perfect example right now, Kevin Durant was exhausted last series. Exhausted. And he's what, 33? He's getting kind of, look at all the years.
He's at the tail end of his prime.
He's right there.
He's still Kevin Durant.
He's still Kevin Durant, but playing all those minutes, getting bodied the way he was by the Celtics, by the young, like, all what? No, I don't think Al's the only one who's in his 30s on that starting roster.
And Al's
just
not
about
even the
anybody.
man on the team.
Exactly. But, like, they had the energy. And to lose game one against the Bucks the way we did against Giannis, who doesn't get tired, can play all those minutes, and, like, especially the way
he's the best player in the league.
He's the best player in the world. Like, that's...
Well, it's the NBA. Of course it's going to be the best player.
It sounds better. Come on. But still, as a NBA fan base, so I guess it's less the players and more the us as a... Jesus, sorry.
Yeah,
Just
so
us
that's
as
not
a
really,
fan base.
That's not the players. That's the fans and the media.
But I don't like our portrayal of, like, not letting players age. Like, before it was like we understood, like, we gave room. It's like, okay, this guy's not averaging 29 a game anymore. He's averaging 21, but it's like he's also 35. Like, or he's 33, or he's getting up there, and like yeah, he doesn't have that gear that he used to, but he'd still, like,
I know what you're saying, and
like, think of when,
I agree with you to an extent.
Think of when Kobe, like, really stopped looking like Kobe. Like, you could kind of see it, like, and everyone just kind of accepted it. Like, the media, like us especially, where we were just like, okay, he doesn't look like Kobe anymore, so now we don't hold him to those same expectations anymore. I don't think we have that as a fan base.
So here's my exception. Not exception, I guess. So, but when we're talking about these guys, because clearly when we're talking about B-plus guys, yeah, it's like, oh, you know what, like the Rondos of the world, where it's like, they're getting old.
Yeah.
Things like that. You got to remember, like, oh, okay, maybe it's the LeBrons playing until they're 40 and they're playing really
like Tom
good.
Brady. Tom Brady's
and I
a
get
monopoly,
that. And I get that. An anomaly.
Anomaly. Sorry.
He kills it at the board game.
Yeah.
But
No
I want to go bring it back to, if you're talking about, it's these greats where it's like, okay, if you want to be great, we're kind of expecting you to be great longer than most people. Michael Jordan won most of his NBA championships in the second half of his career.
Yeah.
Like, his last three-peat, he was pretty freaking old. Like, I shouldn't say pretty old, but, like...
Yeah, but there are anomalies.
He's in his 30s.
There are anomalies in, like, this whole...
But when you bring it to guys like Kevin Durant, where it's like, okay, I don't think he's in the Michael Jordan, LeBron status quite as much, but, like, he is one of those upper echelon guys where we kind of expect more out of them for a longer time.
Yeah, but I think those expectations are kind of... They're almost unfair, because it's like... I think we take away from their whole... We don't give players room to age in that sense. Like, yeah, Kevin Durant should have played better that series, but it's like... I think Kevin Durant 3 years ago would have played better in that series. Like, I don't know. Like, age is a thing that, like, as a fan base, we don't kind of, like, factor in. It's like they're getting... It doesn't matter how good you are. Like, you are going to age. You are going to get... Like, Tom Brady, I think, skewed the fuck out of that view.
Well, that's a whole nother aspect. He's how old is he now? 44, 45?
He'll be 45.
He's going to be 45.
He'll be 45. Like, but that's the thing.
Anyway.
He absolutely skewed it, but he's also in a position where he's really not taking a ton of hits anymore. He's completely protected in today's rules. He doesn't run, and I mean, he can, like, really still. His skills, like, still. They translate into the old age.
I think in basketball they're not.
Basketball is different.
So I think in basketball people
are.
I think people are expecting it more in basketball because it's not as physical. Where in football,
it's more physical
outside of the quarterback position.
That's what I mean.
These receivers. It's like receivers are playing longer, linemen are playing longer. All these guys, they're playing longer, but it's more physical, so that you don't expect them to play as long. Where NBA guys, it's not as. Sorry, I might have worded this wrong actually. Everyone besides the quarterback is more physical than the NBA, where NBA players are kind of expected to play longer. Where NFL, I think it's more accepted outside the quarterback position, where, okay, like running backs.
Fall off early,
running backs, as soon as they hit 30, 90% of them, it's like, okay, we're ready to move on. Marshawn Lynch, Adrian Peterson. Like, these guys were top dogs in the league at one. Todd Gurley,
it's definitely more accepting in football, I think, than in basketball.
Outside the quarterback position.
I think the quarterback position is.
Once a cornerback loses its step, oh, maybe we should move him to safety. Darrell Reeves. Darrell Reeves, that one season, just you could see it. He was done. It's like,
a clean snap,
it was over. It's over.
It was a clean snap.
Thank you.
I was like,
one of my many talents. Actually,
Cool.
I can't do it with my left because I broke my knuckle years ago playing football. Like this one, I can't. No, that was not. That was bad. There was 2 bad ones anyway. There we go. My left one though, it's.
Do you like jazz?
Which finger do you snap with? Fun fact.
Middle.
See, me and my sisters do our ring.
You do that. Oh,
We do a ring.
Middle.
Anyway.
What are
I
we
just-
doing? Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so another thing I got a problem with, we're talking NFL, NBA. What drives me up a wall, and this is the difference between leagues, LeBron, like, in the NBA, you can't even say, oh, yeah, it'd be cool to play with that guy one day. Like,
Oh, tampering?
LeBron couldn't have dinner with Anthony Davis after a game without getting fined before he was on the team.
Yeah.
A.J. Brown ran a whole campaign to sign Julio Jones. Ironically, neither of them are on that team anymore, but NBA players can't even mention other guys, basically.
Yeah, that is weird.
Because they
I
get
don't-
fined. NFL players can literally fund campaigns, basically,
Well-
and say, come play here, we want you on this team. Or, I want you to trade for this guy. Where in the NBA, it's just like,
Well,
oh,
you know
hi,
that
Draymond. Whoa! You're not on his team.
I can't fit a Bible between there.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Like, actually, the only guy that got away with it recently, and I'm now thinking about it, LeBron James said he'd love to play with Steph Curry, and that is the first instance of of me hearing of any of these
Actually,
things,
he
and he
did say
didn't
that.
get fined.
Well, you know why they do it. So in the NBA, it's a lot easier for one player to make a much bigger impact.
Sorry, getting a phone call, people. There was no name, so I will not answer.
Valid. Yeah, one of the. That fucked me up.
I'm sorry.
In the
NBA, it's
in the-
easier to form a super team than in the NFL.
Yeah, correct. So like, one player has much more of an impact on an NBA team. So like, LeBron James and Steph Curry would be absolute fucking mayhem. It'd
No,
be
I get that.
insanity. Like,
I get that.
and
but-
the league just doesn't want any of that to be allowed, because they don't. They especially with that rule came out after what LeBron went to Miami.
You know, I genuinely don't know when the rule
I
came
think
out.
it did.
I think they need to loosen
didn't-
up on it, though, because
I
like,
agree they need to loosen up on it.
Draymond Green, there was one time, he was...
But that's why they push it a lot harder than the NFL. Because the NFL, A.J. Brown had that big fucking campaign for Julio Jones. And what did he do? Nothing for Tennessee.
But that's not the point. It's the principle of it.
It is I agree.
And the thing also behind it, where it's like Draymond Green was on TNT one time. He was with Shaq and all those guys. And he said something about some player goes, oh, yeah, it'd be cool to play with him. Just nonchalantly, and he said something, and they're just like,
League also fucking hates Draymond Green.
$25,000. I'm pretty sure it's a $25,000 fine. He goes, I wasn't like genuinely saying pursue it, but I was just like, yeah, who wouldn't want to play with this guy?
Yeah.
Like,
Talking about like Donovan Mitchell or something stupid. It's like, yeah, of course, everybody would like to play with
it
him.
was a decently big name, but like it would be like if somebody went up to Tom and said like, oh, who, like if you get at one receiver to your team, who would you want? Yeah, you know, if we had Tyreek Hill, I wouldn't cry.
25,000
Like it's ridiculous.
each shit. Yeah.
That is it. So I'm more irritated at the NBA because it's like let these guys. I understand you got to limit it because these super teams do form, but it's already happening. These super teams are already forming. So who cares?
Yeah. I don't know.
I
It'd
understand.
make it entertaining, but it's also like you could really, especially if you can't allow it fully, because. I
But-
mean, I don't know.
Well, I'm sorry. When Draymond mentions another.
I mean,
name,
that's absurd.
I
yeah.
remember it was so
the
ridiculous.
league fucking hates Draymond. First off, that's probably why they did it. They probably,
But that's just
get
one
fucked.
instance I can think of.
Yeah.
LeBron going out to dinner with Anthony Davis. They're just like, whoa, 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 whoa.
They're like, what is sus? They're like 25,000. They're like, what?
And to them, it doesn't matter because LeBron's worth so much money.
Yeah,
Like,
but-
these guys have the money. And don't get me wrong,
Bro,
I mean, it happens.
Imagine,
it was clear as day what was happening.
yeah, but it's still $25,000.
That is nothing to.
Still.
It's more the principle of it. That's my problem.
I agree. I still agree.
That'd be like.
I'm not arguing that point.
But here's
I
my,
mean, it's still
like
is
it was
20
clearly
That's also
it was.
equally as absurd.
I guess it was kind of like I guess that would be tampering because it's like oh no maybe they're just having dinner. Okay, you really don't think they're gonna talk about it? You don't think they're gonna talk
How's
about
work? We can't do that here.
LeBron? Stop.
You promised, yeah. You promised you wouldn't
LeBron.
bring up work.
Come on, not tonight. I left the kids at home. This was supposed to be about us.
Yeah. You said you weren't going to bring up work.
leave it in the workspace.
I thought this was special. But yes, I do want to go to LA.
But yes, I would love to get to New Orleans and come play with you, LeBron, and win a championship.
I'll have the fillet. Medium rare.
LeBron's like, dinner's on me. They both reach for the check. You think they Venmo each other?
Oh,
No, they make too much money. They just cover each other. I'm like, there's no way. So if you could Venmo me like $500,
For
there's
what?
no way.
No.
No, they make too much money.
No, LeBron definitely Venmos though.
You ever seen
He
the?
used-
You
he
ever
used
seen the
the
movie he was in
way
with?
too many emojis.
You ever seen that movie? He was in with Amy Schumer is in it, but that's
It's a movie with Amy
that's-
Schumer. I
so
guarantee.
I've
you
only
probably
watched the
haven't
clips of
seen it.
LeBron because it's pretty funny. He's like he's friends with like that really nerdy white guy or whatever. Anyway, so there's like one scene where they're like going over the bill, and the guy's just like, and LeBron's like, so you had this, and you had, and he's playing LeBron James, like he's just supposed to be LeBron, and the guy's like, no, you like cover the bill. He's like, grow up, like just cover the bill. And LeBron's like, I'm just trying to treat you as my equal, like I don't want to be like that. And he goes, shut up, you're LeBron James, cover the bill. And then he goes, oh, I forgot my wallet. So he's like, oh, screw you. So, but yeah,
I'm just trying
those scenes are pretty funny.
I
Outside
wish I
that,
knew what the fuck you were talking about.
I could not tell you. Amy Schumer's in it. I was.
She exists. She's so unfunny.
I know.
Anyways,
She's not.
No.
Everybody knows. What's
Anyways.
the next thing you hate about sports?
Kind of to bring it back to the refs, I don't like, and I guess this is just probably NBA bias just because I've been seeing a shit ton of it. I don't like how half of the league, and this is why I respect Giannis as much as I do, like there'll be a foul call, and egregious or not, like as much as I don't agree with 90% of the foul calls the NBA makes, that's another thing. I think they just irrelevant, whatever. I don't like that players can just, or they prioritize like complaining about the call, trying to win over these refs, rather than it's like, no, get the fuck back on defense. Like, go set up. Like, if he's calling it and it's not a foul, like it is what it is. Like, it'll work itself out. That's what we're here for. That's what we do. As the NBA media, or just media in general. Like, we'll overanalyze. We'll be like, that was a shitty call, or that was this. And actually, watching the games, I don't like how the NBA knows their refs suck. So then when a foul does get called, they don't actually show the fucking foul. They'll show
never
a play
do.
before.
Yep.
Because they know we'll fucking pick it apart. Fuck what I was saying before. I hate that even more. Watching these games, that drives me up a fucking wall.
It's like, oh, I want to see the foul.
Yeah.
But like, oh, but if we go.
Imagine that dunk
but
four fucking plays ago.
Yeah.
A full 3.5 minutes.
Let's watch it 5 times while they review the foul.
Yeah. No,
Oh,
show
it's
me
still
the
a
fucking
foul.
foul. It's the same shit. Like,
You know, that's good to the NFL because they will
Yeah.
actually show what the refs are looking at.
I'll give him that. I will give him that because that's all I want to talk about anytime any fucking flag gets thrown.
That's what
That's way
everyone wants
more-
to talk about.
That's
Nobody's
way more
like,
entertaining.
I'm sorry, with how instant and everything, like,
Yeah.
you don't even remember 3 plays ago.
Yeah.
That is how the world works. With the social media and everything, it's just like,
Yeah.
now I want to see what's now. Oh, what's happening right now? So if you look back here, 30 seconds ago, we're going to look at this now.
Yeah. No, that drives me up a fucking wall. I cannot stand that. I want to see the fucking foul
Yeah.
because you know it was bad. And it's
The
always
whole,
fucking.
That's the whole point. And it's not like,
It's
it's
always-
not loaded yet. That's not
No,
the
who's
real
making
answer.
that argument?
Nobody.
Nobody.
I hope not. Because I feel like if the NBA was like,
It's a fucking $1 billion franchise. Don't give me. I don't want to hear anything about fucking loading speeds. Oh, hey, we're buffering. We're buffering.
We'll get
What do you
there.
mean we're buffering? Show me the fucking play.
show me right now.
Oh, and it's always too, and they do it because they know how egregious the calls are. They know that if they let it just constantly sit there on loop, that everyone would be like, okay,
This is stupid.
these refs need to like fucking get it together.
Unless
When
it's
Daniel Tice
I haven't moved.
literally just sits there.
He's like, I haven't moved for 5 minutes.
Oh, dude, the charges on like some of these dunks, like where they don't call offensive charging. There's certain times where I'm like, dude, that guy was sitting there and you just let
Like
it
that
go.
sick John Morant dunk.
It was a charge. It was a
that's what
charge.
I don't get
I
about the
love
league.
that dunk,
Like it's sick and it's really impressive.
but it was a
But
charge.
is that? Yeah, like is that not a charge? That's what
he was set. He was
that's-
set. He was in front. The
he
rule
wasn't
is
in the restricted area.
Exactly.
He was, like that's what I don't.
But
I
the-
feel like the game is just so inconsistently called.
yeah.
And I get it. It's not an easy job. I wouldn't want to do it. That is not an easy job. It is fast-paced. It's easy when it's like, oh, in slow-mo.
But
And you
show
go
me the fucking play.
But when you go frame by frame, it's like, oh, that's a clear call. When you're looking at it live speed,
Yeah.
it's
And
not
actually,
easy.
we would
It's
hold-
not easy.
We would hold refs to a higher standard, especially in the NBA, just as we do with the NFL. Well, I mean, I don't know, we still kind of do. You still can't say anything about it. But I feel like as fans, we hold NFL refs to a lot higher standard. And even now so with baseball, because it's you have the replay. They can change it themselves. Like, it's not... That's one of the few things I think baseball got right. It's like, no, make the right call. We have the technology. We technically don't even need umpires. Like, at this point, you can fucking automate a ball in strike zone.
I actually was just listening to ump being interviewed, and that's not true.
Really?
Because they did the test out for umps, and not one of them scored less than like 95% correct calls.
Mm-hmm.
And they did it with the machine, and it scored less. It got like 93% correct, where all the umps
We're higher.
were higher.
All right, so then
And
the
that
technology's
and
not
that
there.
7%, it didn't even make a call some of the times. So at least with an ump, you're always getting a call.
Okay.
I actually just.
I'm not petitioning to take umps out of the.
No,
out of the
I
game.
think it's part of the game. Human error
Yeah.
is a part of the game. But
Agreed.
Sometimes it is just so egregious, and we want to see it.
But especially more so, like I'm even for getting rid of it in the fucking regular season, just letting them do it in the postseason, just because like that's when the calls really, really should matter.
At what point would we be looking at?
I'm just saying, like in the MLB
For what?
replay, like getting the calls right, like being able to like overturn like stuff like that.
Well, that's actually
Like
one
you
of
can
my
keep
pet-
human, you can keep. There's some human error. I get it. Like,
So,
and I'm not saying NBA refs have to be perfect either. Like, of course, there's going to be
human error.
But
That is a
when
part
the
of
calls
sports.
are so egregious, and I know that's why you're not showing me the fucking call.
Yep.
Like, come on.
One of my pet peeves. It's one of my pet peeves, but also I like it.
What?
It's so there's some reasons I like it and some reasons I don't. I hate that like the MLB has 162 games. Because to me, it's like, oh, you just lost 5 games in a row. That is literally mean nothing to me. But the reason I like that there's 162 games is the tickets are way cheaper and you can go to games like all summer. It's like, oh, dude,
Well,
I found
that's
these
the thing.
$10 tickets.
Well, that's the thing with baseball. It's a game you really can play. Other than like being a pitcher, like you can really play it every day. Like it doesn't.
But that's my thing where it's like, but the games individually are meaningless, basically.
Yeah.
As a collective, clearly, I mean, you got to have best record, this and that, but 160, and even the MLB and NHL, I'm sorry, the NBA and NHL, 82, it's like, it's hard for me to get into because every game is diluted because there's so many games.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying don't play.
But that's why playoff, like anything, is 10 times better.
Well, yeah, I'm not.
Because it's so much more dialed
There's
in.
more meaning
March
to
Madness
it.
is more agreed.
Wow,
Yeah,
my
of
phone's
course.
going off. But yeah, there's way more meaning to it. But and I'm not saying like, oh, they should go to 17 games. I would never get to go to a baseball game.
Yeah, no.
They would be $1,000 tickets.
Yeah, that would blow.
I would never, because now you got to pay all these guys hundreds of millions of dollars. Could you imagine that if it was only 17 games?
Like how fucking spread out would everything have to be? That'd be electric.
In reality, you could have a season within like a month.
Yeah, but they wouldn't. They'd want.
No, I know,
yeah.
I get that, but that's
That'd
why
be
they
like-
play
that'd be like a
162 games.
That'd be like a fucking boxing match. I feel like that spread out. And that'd be like okay.
It'd be terrible.
That'd be.
But
yeah,
the thing is, you'd watch them
I would watch.
because it's like,
I
oh,
would
well,
watch-
I don't have
watch it,
161
I
other
watch-
games to go watch.
Yeah.
And there's meaning behind it. I'm not.
I watch probably 30 baseball games a year, out of 100 and whatever.
I probably realistically don't watch until postseason, unless I'm there.
Damn.
I'll watch highlights. I'll
No wonder you're
occasionally
fucking
sit down.
like blank space every time we start talking about it.
The games just individually have no meaning. Tell
Yeah.
me they have meaning. I get it collectively, they do. But that is my problem with baseball. I think they need to shorten the season, even though personally, like from a fan standpoint, I do and I don't. I want the games.
It's not your worst take, but I don't know if I agree with it.
It's weird because I'm playing devil's advocate to myself.
Yeah.
I want there to be less games for it to be more meaningful, but I also don't want ticket prices to skyrocket and not be, even as a family, not for families to be able to go and enjoy it. Because, like, going to the ballpark, well, that's why I like the Woo Sox, because it's actually affordable and you can go and still get that ballpark feel.
Yeah.
And now to spend tons of money on tickets. It's only $9 to go to Woo Sox. But anyway, not to make this whole thing, but I wouldn't mind if they shortened the season. Even with the NBA, too. NHL.
I don't know if I'd hate it.
But then again, am I really going to go watch more games because it's like, oh, there's only 60 games now? Okay, well, there's 59 other games. Like,
I don't know. I'd much rather have more opportunity to go.
True.
I love going to games.
No, and I do too. And that's the aspect of why I didn't originally want this on my list. But there's a reason every Sunday we watch football.
You have a valid point. I wonder.
Money-wise, it would
I was
never
gonna say,
work.
money controls it. So like.
Well, you could
how much do you
never.
lose?
Well, if I signed a $500 million contract or a $300 million contract, and now you cut it down to 60 games, yeah, you better still pay me $300 million. I
Yeah,
have
you
it.
still will. I
But
mean,
how else would they
well,
make up for it?
the ticket prices would have to be.
Ticket prices would go up. Beer
that's-
instead of being
everything would
$10,
have to
it's
go up,
gonna be $25.
Yeah.
It, like nobody. It would.
$25 for a fucking beer. I'd never do it.
We would
It's
never
already
go.
14 for fucking.
It would just be for elitists. That's all that would get to go to
Yeah.
these games anymore. The average fan would never be able to go. That's like the average fan can't go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, no, I don't like this take. Now that we
Yeah.
make that point,
I'm just either way. So that's one of my pet
give me the more
peeves.
games.
You got any more pet peeves?
I am done. I am out of pet peeves. Actually.
I have two more things I don't like about sports. I'm gonna go into the NFL real quick.
Ooh,
So things I give props for the MLB, NHL, and NBA,
be careful giving the MLB props.
And you'll agree with me on this one point. The amount of different jersey styles they have and how quick they put them in is awesome. It is so cool, and I get it's a little easier because
That's a
once
good
again,
fucking take.
there's way more jerseys. I mean, way more jerseys. There's way more games, so there's more opportunities. The NFL, I'm not saying I want them to have different jerseys every single week because then that's kind of dumb. But to implement these things, you're only allowed to have, I think they're changing it. You're only allowed to have one color, like one helmet. You can't change the colors. You can't, even if it's the same helmet with different decals, different colors, you cannot change it. I think that's actually changing within the next couple of years. But it takes, why is this taking 3 years to change? Why, the color rush with the NFL, I thought was a pretty cool idea. I thought it was a step in the right direction.
I agree.
They're now allowing, throwback jerseys. I don't know if the Patriots, they're doing that this year or next year. But why are we announcing it 2 years away? Why? I know you can print it within minutes.
You know what we forgot to do?
What?
Introducing
Our
our
wait,
co-host,
Ryan just made it.
Ryan,
Ryan,
Fahey.
welcome back.
Are you fucking kidding me?
We texted you. We're recording. Come on, join us.
Yeah, hop in.
For fuck's sake, boys.
We talked.
Oh my god.
Oh, we'll fix the camera angle.
Oh, Jesus Christ. We're going.
There's some shit that's been There's some shit here today. Shit.
Welcome, Ryan.
I'm fucking speaking.
Yeah, baby.
So, what do you hate about sports?
We totally did
What I hate
not.
about sports?
Or your co-hosts.
I can't believe this is happening.
Told you 5:30. We got things to do.
We?
I do have to leave in 20 minutes.
Yeah,
Regardless.
yeah.
Which is
So take
valid,
the floor.
valid.
What's the number one thing you hate about sports?
I don't know. Fucking beer prices. That's what drives me up a fucking wall.
Actually, that's crazy because we
literally
maybe,
were just talking
maybe
about that.
6 seconds ago just brought that up, so that is good timing.
That is my biggest pet peeve.
we were
it-
we were talking.
I'm
actually-
sorry. Would this be? Yeah. I'm moving back.
Ryan's just in shock and awe right now.
Shocking. I'm pissed. Registering my vehicle and Kyle's like, this girl's gonna be waiting at my house. My parents gotta meet her.
Well,
You can delay it another 15 minutes. Jesus Christ.
I love it.
Anyway, locked in.
I love it.
Anyway, $22 for a Truly?
we were dude.
Wait,
it's
where is
fucking-
it actually $22?
The Garden?
Yeah, the
each
garden's
way?
absurd.
I know it's
Garden's
$15
absurd.
for a Bud Light at the Garden.
Yep. Yeah,
This is honestly, this is the best take today.
it's terrible.
It's insane. We were just talking how because he was like, I hate how there's too many games in the MLB and NBA because the games are basically meaningless.
Collectively,
And I'm like, I get it. But also, if you imagine if you cut the MLB season in half, imagine how much a beer would be at Fenway. It'd be
$20.
$20
No, thank you.
off the rip.
We wouldn't be
No.
able to go. The average fan would not be able to go anymore.
It would suck dick. Every ticket would be $200.
And that's nosebleeds.
Yeah.
That's it. That's standing room.
They're like that alone.
Oh, it's insane.
I fucking hate the R&B. I'm so sorry.
You know,
I'm fired the fuck up.
You know,
I also-
we started off with Ryan can't be here because he's at
We
the
literally
R&B.
were like, yeah, there's no way.
We're like, no
R&B.
way he makes it.
I-
Goods to you.
Yeah.
Livid,
The hustle.
dude.
You want to hit me with another one? I have one more that I'm gonna go with of things I hate about sports.
God. It's the constant virtue signaling by every stadium known to man. That for instance, I was at Red Sox Yankees opening day at New York, and they had this girl that was from the Ukraine come in and have her sing the national anthem. Now, I get what they're
Our
going
national
for.
anthem? Or
No.
No, the
Ukraine's?
Ukraine.
Okay.
Theirs.
national
Okay.
anthem.
Their one.
Interesting.
No. She starts going. Not a soul besides the 4 people she came with knew any of the words.
Yeah, I don't know.
In a classic New York fashion, the guy I was saying to my right just leans over to his buddy. He goes, "This is too fucking long."
No, dude. You
That was it made me laugh because I was fucking thinking the same goddamn thing. I was like, "This is a lot,
It's like 12 minutes.
dude." It was
compared to our national anthem. I mean, I think we have the best national anthem, but that might be a little biased.
It's also I put Canada's above us. I like Canada's a lot.
Canada smacks.
I'm not gonna lie.
actually.
Canada's
No
hot.
way.
Canada's is hot. Yeah. Anyway, it was long as shit.
Oh,
To be honest, it could have been a minute and a half, but I didn't know any words. I felt like a foreigner at the R&B. Listen to that. It's just like,
Huh.
What did she at least sing good? Like, was she a good singer?
I don't even know because she wasn't speaking words I
You
knew.
can tell, still like.
She was singing in
Was
wingdings.
it
I don't
pleasant?
fucking
He
know.
was singing in
Oh my
wingdings.
God. It's Ukrainian, by the way.
Ukrainians.
This is
wingdings.
what I'm fed up today. The R&B sent me over the
Honestly,
It-
just being at the R&B as
I'm
a
usually
whole.
I'm like a
Bro,
pretty mellow
first of
guy,
all-
dude. The R&B stresses me the fuck
No,
out.
first I
dog.
got there at 4:10. I had to make an appointment, by the way. I didn't just walk into this bitch.
No,
I made
yeah.
an appointment, so I was like, "Oh, good. This is gonna be organized as shit."
You're like, the R&B figured it out.
Yeah, I'm like, "Oh, good, good." I walk in there. There's fucking everyone from Southbridge. I'm like, "Okay, good. This is great."
town.
I'm sitting there. My number is R46. So then they were at R29 when I sat down. I was like, "All right, that's fine." And then there was L, something that was being called these other things. And like it's going. I'm like 15 minutes in. I'm still 15 people to go in the R section. And I'm just like, this is fucking taking a minute. And I'm like, what the fuck? Did people keep going up? R this, L, L, R. I'm like, can we fucking keep going? Out of fucking nowhere, Q10. I'm like, there's a fucking queue? I've been here for half a fucking hour. Where was there a queue? A queue just appeared. And I'm sitting in the back row losing my shit.
I can just imagine Ryan just.
Oh.
Sir,
Perfect
sir,
fucking
sir,
impression.
relax. The fuck you mean there's a queue?
You bitch, you told me to sit down. You tell me what the goddamn queue is.
Just tell me what it means.
Yeah, the one guy that stands up. Ryan makes a scene. Everything's like super mellow. Everyone stops. The guy's like, bingo.
Show me the card. Show me the cards. Show me the cards. What are the numbers?
Don't you lie to me.
Just, ooh, blood boiling.
Dude, the R&B stresses me the fuck out, bro.
I
Oh.
haven't had to go in a long time.
Oh, I still.
I've been lucky.
You know how stressed I've been actually? I'm supposed to have. It's like a very simple road test for my motorcycle license and my real ID. It's like a maybe a 20-minute process if I can just get through the waiting. And I have never. It's like
You've had your bike for 2 years.
I've had my.
You know what?
permit, Yeah.
This is the other thing I hate about sports: lines. That perfect. We had to wait in a line for the R&V. The line process at Fenway has gone atrocious.
What do you
Really?
mean?
I haven't been yet.
Just
went
the
last year.
security.
Is it like? Is it
Oh,
something
they
this
just like
year?
fuck it.
Just so bad. It just takes forever.
Did I-
I'm like, what? How
That's
hard is
crazy.
it to be like phones, wallet, keys in the bucket?
At this
That's
point, you
probably-
should
that's
know.
probably more
At this
our
point,
fault,
no.
yeah.
At this point, you should be prepared.
We're dumb
You
as fuck.
should know.
The people that they do hire to run that shit,
Actually, that's also probably. valid.
100% took the short bus on the way to school.
You know,
I am convinced.
They all had a pizza party together.
You know what?
Yeah,
on
You
the
know what
bus.
concerns me a little at Woo Sox? So I worked there.
little security.
Very
I
late.
wish-
There's one cop.
And
in
I
the
think
back.
I think the Polar Park Woo Sox is a great experience, great time.
No, it is. It's been
But,
great. Blackout both times. It's awesome.
But I worked there, and like I come prepared. Like I know, like there's not
Oh,
even a line.
He's the only motherfucker in there with non-slip
There,
shoes on.
there's not even a line. There's not even a line. It's just like, you know what, I'm prepared. Going through the metal detector twice so far. They're just like, oh, do you work here? I'm like, yeah. They're like, you don't have to. They're like, just walk around. I'm like, Like I'm ready. The machine's on. Can I just go? Like I know I'm not gonna do anything and I have nothing illegal, but like you don't know me. And they're just like, no, you're good. Just walk around. I'm like, I have no identification besides this baseball hat that says W that I could have bought.
Staff.
Nope, it's just a Blue Sox hat. It's basically the equivalent of that, and it concerns me a little. Because besides that, I think Polar Park kills it. I think it's an awesome crew there, security. I'm sorry. I feel like it'd be very easy for someone to go in and attack.
An attack. Some guy comes in with a fucking staff. He's just like,
Like the
I'm willing.
willing.
That's what you're worried about, bro. I'd be worried some bum off the streets bringing a needle.
I'm willing. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go through the metal detector. I will everything is in my hat. I'm locked and loaded. I'm prepared.
Don't say that.
I'm locked and loaded.
Don't say
maybe
that.
not that.
So you ready to come through the security gate?
you
Oh, I'm
mean
locked and loaded,
Yeah.
sir. Get the gloves.
We're
You
gonna be
mean I
checking
can
this.
just
Yeah.
skip this metal detector? Good, because I got to go drop a bomb.
As long as I
What?
got some khaki-looking pants on and some no-slick shoes, you're in. You're in.
Oh, that's amazing.
I should not be saying this because now people are gonna know.
Yeah,
But anyway, so that's.
Did I ever tell you about the
Yeah,
time I
lines.
snuck into Fenway?
I'm sorry. I was gonna say my final pet peeve.
Did I ever tell you about the time I snuck into Fenway? Completely accidental. You ever heard the story?
Yes, you did
Yeah.
actually. Yeah,
Oh.
that's outstanding.
Yeah. You guys don't get to now because they both know, and that's
Yeah,
relevant.
it's too bad. For
So
you.
the number one thing I hate about sports, and I cannot stand as a whole, the Sacramento Kings franchise. I just don't. I don't know what I don't understand, especially when you live in California. Out of all the teams you can choose,
Good
do
answer.
people go to the Sacramento Kings
Good answer.
game?
Nobody.
Unfortunately.
Nobody. And like they have
Kings.
literal Hall of Fame, like Oscar Robinson, one of the best guys to ever play the game.
He doesn't exist. Figment of our imagination.
You know what I mean? Like
There's no way
the original Mr. Triple Double.
There's no fucking way he came out of Sacramento.
He was on the Kings. I don't know. They might have been the Royals, the Royal Kings or something back then, or
Whatever it
Kansas
was.
City. They moved a couple times.
Yeah,
but,
but nobody
like-
fucking wants him.
Why does Seattle not get a franchise, but the Sacramento Kings exist? What? They haven't been relevant since maybe the early 2000s. They haven't had 40 wins since I think like 05.
Yeah,
They haven't won the division since like 03.
yeah. They just traded.
Give me a real reason. First off, purple and silver. That's ugly. That is disgusting.
That's ugly.
Do you see anyone usually go out of the way, be like, wow, this purple looks great on me today?
I will say, Kings jerseys do not smack.
No.
No, they're
No,
just
they
like
don't.
throw up
I don't
on a
knock the
shirt.
players. Well, you know a little. They haven't been relevant in a long time. But
Mm.
that's also, it's when you're not relevant for that long a time. It's not really on the players. It's on the front office. What do you bring to the table? Why should I watch your games?
Mm.
In a
They
state
also-
that has 42 sports teams, why should I give a crap about yours?
Well, not even just that. Like they're also just poorly run as a
Yeah.
motherfucker.
Well,
like,
that's, yeah.
like
That's my
first of all,
point.
no one wants to play for them, and then they got a guy Halliburton that wanted to play for them, actually liked the franchise, and then they traded him away.
He actually said
DeMarcus
multiple
Cousins,
times
too.
he wanted to stay.
I think they're kind of like two different players. Halliburton's like a
Halliburton genuinely wanted to be there.
Oh,
He's
Cousins
like,
didn't
I
want to be
love-
there, but that's just another.
But
relevant
Halliburton was
player that was on that
wasn't
team.
he a fan?
Yeah.
Yeah. They drafted and then they
I'm
traded
sorry.
him.
So they-
no wonder
and the
no one
best-
likes
So
you.
and
they
the best-
found,
the best
so they
part about
found
that-
the
hold on.
only fan left in the stands. Like, we're gonna draft
And
that
he was
guy.
good.
Let's hope he's good.
Dude,
And he was
that's
good.
like that's
And the best part about that is being under the contract that he was. They had Halliburton for another 6 years minimum.
That's literally the equivalent of the Buffalo Sabres when they were trading everyone away. The GM was like, we want people who want to play for us. And I was like, well, you better hope a stud is born in Buffalo and has raised a Sabres fan. That's the only way
Yeah.
anyone's going to want to play for you.
The NBA has been screaming. The fans have been screaming for the Seattle SuperSonics to come back.
For a minute.
Why
now.
do Oh, well, we don't want to do an expansion. Great.
Just
Get rid of the
The team,
Kings.
just-
Get rid of the Kings.
don't gotta
Take all the
expand.
players. Take all the players and just go, we're going to move you up here. We're just going to.
We're gonna push you
There's
two
yeah, but
states away.
you know why they
One,
don't want to
two.
do that though? Because the owner is still in charge. Like the GM is still there. It's still going to be the Kings. It's going to be the shitty Seattle SuperSonics because they're still going to make piss poor decisions.
But at least your brand looks a little better. That's literally it. You can rebrand.
That's the most Kings move I've ever heard in my life. We're not going to get better.
Perfect,
We're
then
just
pull
gonna
one
move-
more Kings
We're gonna
move and
run
then never
away
be the
from our
Kings again.
problems. Honestly,
At least it's in a relevant city. I'm sorry. What?
Yeah, I mean
Sacramento. Is there any other? Is there a legit sports fan in Sacramento?
There's gonna be one.
Does
guy.
anybody grow up and say, "Wow, I can't wait to play for the Sacramento Kings one day"?
Yeah,
Halliburton.
I was about to say there's one guy.
They had it.
and they fucking trade him.
they sent him away.
That's it. I genuinely, I look at the Kings and I try to find like
This guy
any
must be
good.
fucking insane. Goodbye.
Oh, you love us? I
What
don't
the fuck
care.
is wrong with you? That's like
I cannot stand the Sacramento Kings, and it's not like they've beaten the Boston Celtics all the time. They're not relevant. They're not. I haven't met one person that's a Sacramento Kings fan, and I get it. We come from a. I get it. We come.
I did.
Oh my God!
I did.
I'm sorry. So
You have the floor.
It was what 2-3 weeks ago. I went to that concert. The whatever that random
yeah.
concert was.
Yeah.
There was a kid there with
the
a
random
fucking
EDM concert.
Yeah.
you sent us.
random fucking
In
that
in New Hampshire.
Oh yeah, that's where he is. That's the one. That's
It's party in the trees.
I met Tyrese Halliburton at an
Oh
EDM.
my God! That's.
I'm like, what are you doing here? He's
You're
like,
like, it's
I
all
don't
coming.
know.
You're like it's all coming together.
Yeah, no. It literally was just like one white dude in a random Kings jersey, and I go, yo, that
Cap.
No, you're a fucking liar. I don't hang out with this guy.
Who was the jersey?
I thought it was De'Aaron Fox. It was number 11. I don't even know who it was.
I genuinely would not care. The fact you're even
I went
repping that
sick.
brand.
I went sick De'Aaron Fox jersey. He's like, oh, it's not De'Aaron Fox. So like that's how I know he's like definitely a real fan. It wasn't Sabonis.
Oh, that's right. They get the bonus.
That was the
I
guy.
don't
That's
care.
who they literally.
Guys, I
Something like a fan.
if the NBA didn't even do an expansion, if they just said we're only gonna have 29 teams, and they just got rid of the Sacramento Kings,
Or
I would be pretty jacked up.
just throw the Kings into the San Andreas Fault. Just
give them their own.
I
league.
I have no problem if Adam Silver was just like, hey,
You gotta go.
we're done.
blow up the city of Sacramento and then just go
What is in Sacramento?
heroin.
That's everywhere. That's
Actually, turns out we're the heroin capital of Massachusetts.
yes, per capita though.
I mean, yeah.
It's not per volume. No, Spencer is not the number one of per volume, but per capita.
capita.
Thank you. We are number one in Massachusetts, so go us.
yeah.
So should the Kings come here?
I don't live here.
Technically, we're in North Brookfield right now, so we're safe.
does.
Oh, okay, good.
We're good. We're safe.
It does support.
Kyle's the only one that lives. No, we don't have to tell everyone where we live,
We'll
but
just look at him.
Hey.
See.
25 cents a day. But yeah, that's just
You can
that is
donate
my
to our
number one
Patreon.
pet peeve out of anything in sports. The Sacramento Kings.
It's valid.
Why are you existing?
I love that was an answer.
It's valid.
I really do. It was just like I was thinking like little things here and there. He just goes on an entire franchise.
Yep. And it's not the players.
Who's
I don't blame the players as a whole because it's just you don't have to be there.
That's like Dan fucking Snyder. That's the Redskins.
Well, 'cause
You're
how-
not
But
choosing to be there.
how
Most
long?
you-
How long have they been around?
Oh, they're an old
Oscar
franchise.
Robinson was on the team
Yeah.
when they were.
So outside of Oscar Robinson,
Let's see when they moved to Sacramento.
outside of like Oscar Robinson, Boogie, and Halliburton,
Was Jason Kidd on the team?
was he?
That might be a stretch. I could be wrong about that.
White chocolate. That's who I'm thinking of. Jason Williams.
Jimmer Fredette.
Was
You
he?
know what? That's who I'm thinking of too.
Jimmer
White
Fredette.
chocolate.
Mm.
And the Williams. You're
Little-
correct.
Elbow pass boy.
He was disgusting.
1985. That's
been
where they
around.
went wrong.
For that long.
Yeah.
What have they
Oh,
done?
they were the Kansas City Kings before that,
I can.
and then before the Kansas City
Yeah.
Omaha Kings,
Yeah, Missouri don't care.
and then the
about
Cincinnati
basketball.
Royals, and then
They
the
don't like the people who
oh,
play the basketball.
the Rochester
You're
Royals.
walking a fucking thin line, my friend.
Oh no, I jumped right into that. I know what I said.
I wish, honestly, even if it was Kansas City Kings,
Missouri.
I would rather the
Missouri don't like the basketball.
James is having a whole separate conversation.
I'm ignoring
with
it. I know what he's
himself right
doing,
now.
and I'm just ignoring it. Kansas City Omaha Kings.
This is what I bring. I can't.
Either way, 1985 is where the NBA went wrong.
I genuinely can't wait to listen to this episode to see how you guys are going before I jumped in.
I mean, it was pretty good.
It
But
was-
No, I know. I'm
either-
just the track.
the track was actually pretty alright.
You guys are chugging that one.
yeah.
so there was.
It's pretty
The train
fucking
hit
accurate,
a
actually.
rock and just went.
We derailed. We definitely derailed. I can promise
So there
you
were
that.
So there was like a 5-year span where the Kings were decently well. Like they had, in 01 they had 61 wins.
That's nice.
Okay, I'll give you that. 59, 55, 50, 44. Ooh, it just gets worse. In 09, they had 17 wins.
When's the last time they had
It's a lotto pick.
40?
What you want.
Oh, it was 05.
Yeah, it's
And,
too much.
and we're talking about an expansion?
17
No,
years.
just 7. Yeah.
I want them to. You know how like Louisville, they lost that NBA or their national championship because of cheating. Can we just wipe the Sacramento Kings? Exclude no, because Oscar Robinson wasn't on the Sacramento Kings. Just get rid of that history. I just do not care for the Kings. I don't care for them.
Yeah, it's so tricky. Every time I see like the Celtics play the Kings on the schedule, I'm like, okay.
Okay.
But I'm not even like
I'm gonna watch.
I'm not circling the damn. I like check who the Celtics playing today. I'm like,
Those are the
fucking
tickets I usually
Kings.
buy just because they're the cheapest.
Oh my
And
god,
I
they're
put
like
my
30
phone
cents.
down, and I'm like,
They pay you to show up.
Thank you for being here.
please come watch us play the Kings. Please. We're probably gonna win by 50. Isn't that exciting? Yes.
to see
but
the favorite
no.
players.
Half price beer. I'm in.
Oh my god.
Oh, I paid $50 for a ticket.
I'm in. Yeah, I'm invested.
No, I'd pay $300 for a ticket for a half price of beer. Sign me up,
Comes out.
man. Oh my god.
So yeah, that's all my anger towards sports and hatred and things that I can't stand about him. Do you have anything else? Because I know he's done. I'm done. One last thing, Ryan.
Yeah. Don't swipe away on the jumbotron where people flip it off. I want to see it. It's funny.
Okay.
They should have a separate channel for that. I think they should have like an R-rated channel for that.
Ooh.
Do you know how many people
The Manning cast is basically that.
No,
Like, Eli
I don't
flipped
like
off
that.
the camera like mid show.
Oh,
yeah.
that's right.
See?
I didn't like that though.
I
Not
did.
not the
was
middle
okay.
fingers. Not the middle fingers.
Oh.
Just the Manning thing.
Oh,
I
okay.
felt like it was just such forced. You ever
that's
been
fair.
like have to make small talk with someone?
It's like 90% of what our podcast is.
I feel like, but I actually like talking to you guys. I feel like it's just like when you go to a family reunion and there's or like a family holiday and there's that one cousin or something that's like, hey, you have to talk to them for 30 seconds.
How's
That
the
30
job?
seconds is that whole Manning show
Oh,
there.
that's the
That's the vibe I
Manning,
get.
the
This-
Manning show is when you run into your high school.
Nah, there's
fucking-
a vibe on that show where Eli knows that he won his 2 rings like legitly. And he just wants to be like, well, you were dragged to your second Super Bowl, and he wants to pull that trigger.
I would
wants
watch.
to
So,
so
I
hard.
will say there was like a 5% funny moments of like out of all of it because there were some good clips. Like there's one point where Eli's trying to get Peyton. He goes, "Oh, Peyton, what do you have to think? Like, what do you have to say?" And he goes, and you hear Peyton go, "I can't hear shit." It's like, and Eli's like, "Okay." Like there are some funny moments, but the fact that I'm not sitting there the whole time listening to an awkward, forced conversation to hear 5% of the funny when I can just watch it on social media after the fact.
Yeah, I like the fast-paced like announcer style, like the
And then they're like,
play.
and then they're like, "Here's Jack Black."
I really love just hearing fucking.
They didn't actually bring Jack
Joe
Black
Buck
on.
just absolutely raw dog every New England take. That's what I wanna hear.
I feel like Joe Buck gets too much hate.
I'm on the same page as you. He's
I
never.
fucking hate Joe Buck.
To me.
I think that's just a bias. I think
I
that's
think
New
that
England
I think
bias.
that too, because to me he's never in the middle. But his where he's so skewed either way. When he's bad, God is he so bad. But when he's on,
Yeah,
he has some of the best calls I've ever heard.
he really does.
He-
I couldn't
he-
tame
the
you.
one-
He's never.
The one
I
call that I'll
swear to
give
you,
Joe
he's
Buck-
never down the middle. He's either terrible or fantastic.
The one call I'll give Joe Buck is the Stephon Diggs catch against the Saints.
Oh,
That's my favorite.
That's what I'm
That's-
saying.
That's my
the one
favorite.
Joe
That
Buck
call's
call I will give.
electric.
Everything else
My favorite. Probably my favorite in sports.
in sports,
It was pretty amazing.
I like the Jerry Remy when the guy throws the fucking pizza at the fan.
Now, Don,
Now, Don.
I don't have my penny, but here it comes. Here's the pizza. You see it?
Yes, that's my all-time.
Well, I feel like that's different though. When I'm talking like just a pure great sports moment,
That's
we can talk about things we love about sports next week.
oh,
Today
that's-
we're
you
talking-
know what?
I like
All
that.
right, fine,
I think we were talking
fine.
about
Tune in.
This week was what
Little
we
yeah,
hated.
that was
sports.
a fucking preview.
Yeah, because I don't want to get into it because today is about what we hated.
I like it.
So, but thanks for joining us here on Sports On Tap. If you like what we're doing, please comment, like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, and Ryan, hopefully be on time next time.
Bitch. I had to register a vehicle.
Yeah, bang.
God dang.